Have you ever felt lost in a crowd, overwhelmed by the noise of other people's expectations, opinions, and judgments? It's exhausting, isn't it? Trying to meet everyone else's standards, constantly reacting, always explaining, always proving who you are. Deep down, you know this cycle is draining your spirit and stealing your focus from what truly matters, your own growth, your dreams, your happiness. What if the key to everything you've been searching for lies not in speaking louder or pushing harder, but in something far simpler, yet incredibly powerful? What if all you needed to do was to stop, to look inward, to focus solely on yourself, and to stay silent? This might sound strange because we live in a world obsessed with noise, attention, and constant communication. We've been trained to think that speaking up, making ourselves seen and heard is the only way to prove our worth. But what if the opposite is true? What if silence holds the secret to transforming your life? When you focus on yourself and stay silent, you create a space, a sacred space, where clarity begins to emerge. In that silence, away from distractions and judgments, you can hear your own truth. You can reconnect with the person you've been too busy to know. It's in this quiet that you regain your power, your direction, and your peace. Imagine how it would feel to stop chasing approval and start living with certainty, grounded in your own strength. Imagine the relief of no longer being caught in the whirlwind of other people's drama or expectations. This is not about withdrawal or weakness. It is about discipline and courage, the courage to prioritize yourself, to trust the process of inner work, and to allow life's pieces to fall into place naturally. There's an emotional reward here that goes beyond temporary satisfaction. It's a deep, lasting fulfillment that comes from knowing you are enough right now without needing to prove it. It's the kind of confidence that radiates silently but powerfully, attracting opportunities, people, and experiences that align with your true self. This path isn't easy. It asks you to resist the urge to react, to explain, to justify. It asks you to let go of the need to control the outcome. But the payoff? A life where things flow effortlessly because you are no longer scattered and depleted. You become like a magnet, drawing what you truly need by simply being present and focused. Staying silent is not about hiding or giving up. It's about harnessing your energy and attention with intention. It's about realizing that your voice is strongest when it comes from a place of deep self-awareness and calm. By choosing silence and self-focus, you step into a new kind of power, a power that transforms confusion into clarity, chaos into calm, and dreams into reality. So, stay with me. Keep listening. Because as we move forward, you will discover exactly how this simple shift can ignite the change you've been waiting for, making everything fall into place in ways you never thought possible. Silence is often misunderstood as emptiness or weakness, but it is anything but that. It is a powerful, living force that allows your mind to breathe and your soul to speak. When you stay silent, you step out of the chaotic noise of the outside world and into the quiet sanctuary of your own presence. In this space, your thoughts become clear instead of cluttered, your emotions settle instead of storming, and your deepest desires rise instead of hiding. Silence is not just the absence of sound, it is the presence of clarity. It's a moment where your mind stops chasing distractions and your heart starts listening to what truly matters. Science shows that in moments of silence, the brain's activity shifts from stress and anxiety to calm and focus. This physiological change isn't just temporary relief, it rewires your mental patterns, reinforcing peace and resilience. By choosing silence, you give your brain a chance to reset, to rebuild, and to regain the strength needed for transformation. This is why silence is such a powerful tool for anyone on the path of self-focus. When you quiet the external noise, you stop reacting impulsively and start responding intentionally. You break free from the cycle of emotional exhaustion that comes from constantly defending yourself or trying to explain your worth to others. Instead, you begin to act from a place of grounded confidence, one that is rooted in your own understanding of who you are and what you want. This shift is more than just mental, it's deeply emotional. Staying silent allows you to create boundaries around your energy, protecting it from being drained by unnecessary conflicts, distractions, and opinions. It cultivates a sense of safety within yourself, where your value is no longer dependent on the approval or judgment of others. This is where true empowerment begins. The courage to stay silent in a loud world is an act of rebellion against the pressure to conform and perform. It is a declaration that you are choosing to honor your own growth over the demands of outside voices. This silence becomes your shield and your sword. It protects your peace and sharpens your focus. When you embrace silence, you invite transformation on a profound level. You start to notice the subtle shifts inside, the growing patience, the rising self-respect, the increasing clarity of purpose. Your mind begins to filter out what no longer serves you, and your heart learns to trust its own guidance. With every moment of silence, you are strengthening the foundation of your inner world. This foundation becomes unshakable, a place you can always return to regardless of what storms rage outside. Silence teaches you to find power in stillness and wisdom in waiting. It's in this quiet that the pieces of your life begin to align naturally, not because you are forcing them, but because you have created the right conditions for growth. This is the magic that happens when you focus on yourself and stay silent. You begin to understand that you don't need to fight or shout to make your dreams real. Instead, you cultivate a steady, quiet energy that moves mountains from within. It is this silent strength that will guide you through any challenge and open doors you never knew existed. Let this truth settle in deeply. Your silence is your power, and your power will change everything. When you constantly seek approval, you give away your power without even realizing it. Every word you say to explain yourself, every effort you make to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be, chips away at your energy and your sense of self. The need for approval is a heavy burden. It traps you in a cycle of dependence on external voices to validate your worth. But approval from others is fragile and fleeting. It changes with moods, opinions, and circumstances. When your value depends on it, you are always at the mercy of forces outside your control. This is why focusing inward and embracing silence can break this exhausting pattern. When you stop chasing approval, you stop giving away your power. You begin to own your truth quietly and confidently. This is a radical act of freedom. It shifts your mindset from being a reaction to external judgments to being a creator of your own reality. It's no longer about convincing others that you're enough. It's about knowing it deeply without needing anyone else to confirm it. This internal validation fuels a powerful transformation. It rebuilds your self-esteem on solid ground rather than on shifting sands. You become immune to criticism that once hurt you deeply because you realize it no longer defines you. This shift doesn't happen overnight. It requires the bravery to sit with discomfort, the discomfort of not explaining yourself, of letting silence answer questions others might have, of not reacting to every challenge. Yet in this silence, you reclaim your voice in a more authentic way. You learn that the most powerful expression of self is not loud declarations or endless justifications, but calm confidence and clear intention. This confidence comes from a place of knowing who you are and what you stand for. It's quiet but unshakable. The moment you stop seeking approval, you redirect your energy to what truly matters: your growth, your goals, your peace. You begin to invest time in developing your strengths instead of defending your weaknesses. This energy shift creates space for focus and progress. With every silent moment you allow yourself, you reinforce your independence. You're no longer a hostage to others' opinions or the drama that often surrounds them. Instead, you become a master of your own mind and emotions. This mastery brings clarity. It helps you see clearly what aligns with your values and what doesn't. It guides you to make choices that serve your highest good rather than temporary approval. Living in silence and self-focus also builds resilience. When you're grounded internally, criticism and rejection don't shatter you. They become opportunities to grow stronger. Your self-worth becomes your anchor during storms. This transformation is deeply freeing. It releases you from the exhausting performance of seeking validation and replaces it with a serene confidence that everything you need already exists within you. When you embrace this truth, you step into a new reality where you no longer react to external noise but respond from inner strength. This is the turning point where your life begins to shift. The approval you once chased becomes irrelevant because you are whole without it. This is where freedom begins, and everything starts to fall into place naturally. Focusing on yourself demands a discipline that many shy away from because it asks you to confront the parts of yourself you might prefer to avoid. It asks for courage, the kind of courage that doesn't roar but whispers steadily within, urging you to show up every day even when it's uncomfortable. This discipline isn't about punishment or rigidity. It's about commitment to your own growth, your own well-being, and your own potential. When you focus inward, you reclaim control over your energy and your choices. You stop being pulled in 1,000 directions by distractions, drama, or the expectations of others. Instead, you start to build habits that support your clarity, your peace, and your forward movement. This commitment to self-focus rewires your mind to prioritize what truly matters. It trains you to recognize what drains you and what fuels you. This kind of awareness is a game changer because it means you no longer react blindly to life's chaos. Instead, you respond thoughtfully, choosing actions aligned with your deepest goals and values. This discipline builds momentum. Each day you dedicate to yourself, you reinforce the belief that your growth is worth the effort. Over time, this belief becomes an unbreakable foundation, a steady force that keeps you grounded even when challenges arise. The discipline of self-focus also teaches patience. Change doesn't happen overnight. Transformation is a process that unfolds in silence, away from applause and validation. It requires the willingness to trust in the unseen work happening inside you. This trust is the bedrock of resilience. When you develop discipline, you learn to embrace discomfort instead of avoiding it. You become comfortable with the idea that growth often means walking through uncertainty, feeling vulnerable, and sitting with difficult emotions. Yet through this discomfort, you become stronger. You discover reserves of strength and wisdom you didn't know existed. This strength doesn't rely on external conditions or validation. It comes from within. It's a quiet power that grows each time you choose to focus on yourself instead of being distracted by noise. The courage to be disciplined in your self-focus is what sets you apart from those who are swept away by external chaos. It allows you to build a life rooted in authenticity, purpose, and peace. When you commit to this path, your world begins to change. You start attracting people, opportunities, and experiences that resonate with your true self. Doors open because you are aligned, focused, and clear about what you want. This clarity becomes your compass, guiding you even in the most uncertain moments. Discipline and self-focus is not a sacrifice. It is a gift you give yourself. It honors your potential and your right to live fully. It's a promise to show up for yourself every day, no matter what. This promise transforms fear into courage and hesitation into action. It is the steady heartbeat of transformation, the quiet force that, when nurtured, makes everything else fall into place. When you embrace discipline and focus on yourself, you unlock the power to create the life you've always dreamed of, one intentional moment at a time. When you choose to focus on yourself and stay silent, you begin to break free from the exhausting drama that drains your spirit and clouds your mind. Drama, by its nature, demands attention, energy, and reaction, pulling you away from what truly matters. It thrives on noise, on chaos, on constant movement. But when you step back, quiet your voice, and turn your attention inward, you dismantle the hold that drama has over you. This withdrawal is not avoidance, it is empowerment. It's the conscious decision to protect your energy and to refuse to be swept into conflicts that don't serve your growth or peace. Drama creates illusions of urgency, making you feel like you must react, defend, or explain. This illusion tricks you into believing that your worth depends on how loudly or quickly you respond. Yet the truth is, your worth is independent of these external battles. When you embrace silence and focus inward, you refuse to play by the rules of drama. You refuse to give it power over your emotions and your choices. This resistance rewires your emotional landscape. Instead of being reactive, you become proactive. You choose when and where to invest your energy, and this choice is revolutionary. It shifts your life from being a series of chaotic responses to a deliberate path of growth and fulfillment. Removing yourself from drama frees your mind to concentrate on what truly matters, your dreams, your health, your values. It's like clearing away static to hear a clear, beautiful melody. Your attention becomes a laser beam, cutting through distractions and illuminating the path forward. This focused energy is magnetic. It draws people, opportunities, and experiences that resonate with your authentic self. Drama, with all its noise and conflict, repels the very success and peace you seek. Silence, by contrast, creates space for alignment and clarity. This space is fertile ground where transformation can take root and flourish. The power of detachment from drama also builds emotional resilience. When you no longer react to every provocation or crisis, you develop a calm strength that others will notice. This calm is not weakness, but a sign of mastery over your inner world. It signals that you are in control of your emotions rather than controlled by them. This mastery grows with each silent moment you choose over reaction. It transforms fear into confidence, anxiety into peace, and confusion into clarity. You learn that the greatest battles are won not through confrontation, but through quiet strength and unshakable focus. Drama loses its grip when you stop feeding it with your energy and attention. Your silence becomes a powerful statement. You value your peace more than external chaos. You prioritize your growth over distractions. You understand that true progress comes from stillness and self-focus, not from noise and reaction. By stepping away from drama, you reclaim time, energy, and emotional bandwidth. These are precious resources you can now invest in yourself and your vision. This investment pays dividends beyond measure. Your life begins to flow with ease and purpose. The chaos fades into the background as your inner world strengthens and your path becomes clear. When you learn to break free from drama by focusing silently on yourself, you unlock a freedom that changes everything. Your peace becomes your power, and from that power, everything else falls into place naturally. When you embrace solitude and allow yourself to be alone with your thoughts and emotions, you tap into a well of emotional strength that cannot be found anywhere else. Solitude is not loneliness. It is a deliberate choice to step away from the noise, distractions, and demands of the world and to face yourself honestly and fully. In those quiet moments, you begin to understand your feelings rather than suppress them. You give yourself permission to feel without judgment or escape. This process is vital because emotional strength grows from acknowledging, accepting, and working through what's inside you. When you stay silent, you give space for your emotions to surface, revealing the truths you might have avoided. These truths may be uncomfortable, but they are necessary for growth. Facing your fears, doubts, and insecurities head-on builds resilience that no external experience can replace. Emotional strength forged in silence becomes a shield against life's inevitable challenges. It allows you to stand firm when faced with adversity, to hold your ground without being shaken by the opinions or actions of others. This strength is not loud or aggressive. It is quiet and steady, a deep-rooted power that supports every decision you make. Developing this emotional resilience requires patience and courage. It means sitting with discomfort instead of running from it, being honest with yourself even when it hurts, and trusting that this work will lead to freedom. The process might feel slow, but every moment spent in silent reflection is a step toward healing and empowerment. When your emotional foundation is strong, you no longer need external validation or constant reassurance. You become self-reliant in the truest sense, able to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and confidence. This self-reliance is liberating. It frees you from dependency on others for your happiness and peace. Silence is the catalyst for this transformation. It creates the conditions for self-awareness and emotional regulation to flourish. When you stop filling your mind with constant chatter and distraction, you allow clarity and calm to emerge naturally. This calm enables you to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. You gain the ability to choose your thoughts, feelings, and actions rather than being swept away by them. Emotional strength built through solitude empowers you to set healthy boundaries, protect your energy, and prioritize your well-being. It helps you recognize what deserves your attention and what should be let go. This discernment is essential for growth because it prevents overwhelm and burnout, allowing you to conserve your energy for what truly matters. The more you practice this inner work, the more you realize that your silence is a sanctuary, a place of renewal and strength. It is where your true power lives, quiet, steady, and unshakable. By choosing silence and focusing on yourself, you nurture an emotional resilience that becomes the foundation for lasting transformation. This strength is the key to unlocking your potential and living a life aligned with your deepest values. In this silence, everything begins to fall into place. When you focus deeply on yourself and embrace silence, you begin to unlock the power of presence, being fully here, fully aware, and fully connected to this very moment. Presence is not just a state of mind, it is a gateway to transformation. It pulls you away from the endless loop of regrets about the past and anxieties about the future, anchoring you firmly in the now. This anchoring creates a profound sense of calm and control. When you are truly present, you stop being a passive spectator in your life. Instead, you become the active creator of your experience. You notice your thoughts without judgment and choose which ones deserve your attention. This awareness opens the door to conscious living, where your actions align with your deepest intentions rather than automatic reactions. The power of presence is amplified when combined with silence. In silence, the distractions fade and your awareness sharpens. You begin to hear your inner voice clearly, distinguish your genuine desires from conditioned responses, and sense the subtle guidance that often goes unnoticed in the noise of everyday life. This clarity is the foundation of intentional action. Actions that are not random or forced, but flow naturally from your authentic self. Being present in silence also deepens your connection with your emotions. Instead of running away from discomfort, you learn to feel fully without resistance. This acceptance transforms emotions from obstacles into messengers, providing valuable insights into what needs attention or healing. Over time, this practice rewires your brain, strengthening neural pathways that support emotional regulation, focus, and resilience. The more you cultivate presence through silence, the more you experience peace that is not dependent on external circumstances. You become a calm center amid chaos, able to respond with wisdom and grace instead of reacting with fear or frustration. This inner peace fuels confidence and courage. When you live from presence, you trust yourself more. You know that whatever challenges arise, you have the clarity and strength to handle them. This trust reduces doubt and hesitation, freeing you to pursue your goals with unwavering determination. Presence also enhances your relationships, even if they are mostly internal. When you are fully present with yourself, you develop self-compassion and acceptance, which radiate outward and improve how you engage with others. You stop seeking validation because you are already whole. This shift changes the energy you bring into the world, quiet, steady, and magnetic. People and opportunities naturally gravitate toward this energy because it signals authenticity and strength. Presence is not something to be achieved someday. It is a practice available to you right now. It begins with the choice to be silent and turn inward, to listen and observe without distraction or judgment. Each moment you spend in this state builds momentum, making it easier to return to presence even during life's busiest or most stressful times. This momentum is transformative. It creates a new way of being where everything falls into place because you are no longer scattered or distracted. You are centered, clear, and aligned. This is the power of focusing on yourself and staying silent. The power to live fully, courageously, and authentically in every moment. When you cultivate this deep presence and silence, you begin to reclaim your energy, your most precious resource. Energy is the fuel behind every thought, feeling, and action. It powers your creativity, your focus, your resilience. Yet so often, you give your energy away without realizing it. You expend it on worrying about what others think, trying to control outcomes beyond your reach, or reacting impulsively to external distractions. This scattered energy leaves you depleted, stuck, and disconnected from your true potential. But when you focus silently on yourself, you start to protect and conserve this vital force. You learn to direct it intentionally, like a beam of light that cuts through darkness. This redirection is revolutionary because it transforms how you live and move through the world. Instead of being drained by noise, conflict, or comparison, you harness your energy to build, create, and grow. This focused energy increases your productivity and sharpens your clarity. When your mind is calm and your attention is centered, decisions become easier and more aligned with your purpose. You no longer waste time second-guessing or doubting because your energy is reserved for forward movement. The power of energy management through silence is rooted in self-awareness. It requires you to become mindful of where your energy goes and to choose what deserves your attention. This mindfulness prevents you from falling into the trap of reactive living, where external events dictate your emotional state and actions. Instead, you cultivate an inner rhythm guided by intention and calm. Protecting your energy also means setting boundaries, firm lines that keep distractions and negativity from depleting your reserves. Boundaries are acts of self-respect. They say to yourself and to others that your well-being is non-negotiable. When you prioritize your energy, you create space for rest, renewal, and inspiration. This balance is essential for sustained growth and fulfillment. Without it, exhaustion and burnout become inevitable. But with it, you unlock new levels of creativity and resilience. Energy focused inward builds momentum that propels you toward your goals with steady force. This momentum is invisible but powerful, like an undercurrent guiding a ship through calm waters. It keeps you moving forward even when external circumstances are uncertain or challenging. Harnessing your energy through silence also enhances your emotional intelligence. You become better at recognizing subtle shifts in your mood and energy levels. This awareness allows you to respond proactively, taking breaks, practicing self-care, or adjusting your mindset before stress or overwhelm take hold. The result is greater emotional balance and a stronger capacity to handle life's demands without losing yourself. This kind of energy management creates a life of alignment, where your actions, values, and emotions flow in harmony. It reduces internal conflict and increases confidence, because you are no longer scattered or pulled in opposing directions. Instead, you move through each day with a clear sense of purpose and grounded strength. When you focus on yourself and stay silent, you reclaim your energy and transform it into the driving force of your transformation. This is how everything begins to fall into place, when your energy is yours to wield and you use it intentionally to create the life you desire. True transformation begins the moment you stop seeking approval from the outside world and start trusting the voice within. For too long, many have lived tethered to the opinions, judgments, and expectations of others, allowing external validation to dictate their self-worth and direction. This dependency creates a fragile foundation, constantly shaken by shifting circumstances and fleeting recognition. When you focus silently on yourself, you break free from this exhausting cycle. You begin to cultivate an unshakable sense of self-worth rooted in your own values and growth. This internal validation is not boastful or arrogant. It is steady, humble, and deeply freeing. It means you no longer need others to tell you you are enough or worthy, because you have decided it for yourself. This shift rewires your mindset and emotional landscape. You move from a place of scarcity, always craving more recognition or approval, to a place of abundance, where you appreciate your inherent value regardless of external feedback. This mindset creates a profound sense of peace because it is not dependent on outside circumstances. It empowers you to act authentically and courageously because your decisions are aligned with your true self, not with what will please or impress others. When you trust yourself, you develop clarity about what truly matters in your life. You stop chasing distractions and superficial goals designed to earn validation. Instead, you focus your energy on meaningful pursuits that nourish your soul and push you toward your highest potential. This alignment is magnetic. It attracts the right people, opportunities, and experiences naturally, those that resonate with your authentic purpose. Letting go of the need for approval also strengthens your resilience. Criticism, rejection, or failure no longer derail you because your foundation is no longer fragile. You view setbacks as feedback, not judgment. You understand that your worth is constant even when circumstances fluctuate. This perspective fuels courage and persistence, enabling you to keep moving forward when others might give up. Cultivating self-trust requires practice and patience. It begins with silence, turning inward long enough to hear your true thoughts and feelings beneath the noise of doubt and fear. In this silence, you build a relationship with yourself based on honesty and compassion. You acknowledge your imperfections without judgment and celebrate your progress without arrogance. This inner dialogue becomes the source of your strength. As self-trust deepens, you develop a powerful sense of agency, the understanding that you are the author of your life story. This agency is liberating because it shifts power back into your hands. You stop waiting for permission, approval, or the perfect conditions. Instead, you act decisively from a place of confidence and clarity. This confidence radiates outward, transforming how you interact with the world. People sense your authenticity and are drawn to your grounded presence. You no longer need to convince or prove yourself. Your actions speak louder than words. When you focus on yourself and stay silent, you reclaim your power by trusting your own voice. This trust becomes the foundation for lasting transformation and fulfillment. It is the moment everything begins to fall into place, because you finally recognize that the most important validation comes from within. When you allow yourself to focus inward and embrace silence, you open the door to authentic self-awareness, the deepest form of understanding you can cultivate. This self-awareness is not surface level or intellectual. It is a profound recognition of who you are beneath the masks, the roles, and the expectations imposed by society or others. In silence, away from external noise, you begin to observe your thoughts, emotions, and patterns without judgment or resistance. This observation creates clarity. You start to see where you have been holding yourself back, where fears and limiting beliefs have taken root, and where your true desires and strengths lie. Self-awareness is the foundation for transformation because you cannot change what you do not fully understand. It acts like a mirror reflecting your inner landscape with honesty and precision. This reflection might reveal uncomfortable truths, but it also reveals immense potential waiting to be unlocked. The beauty of cultivating self-awareness through silence is that it empowers you to make conscious choices instead of living on autopilot. You become the architect of your life rather than a passenger caught in currents beyond your control. This conscious choice building leads to authenticity, a state where your actions align with your deepest values and truths. Authenticity creates freedom because it dissolves the pressure to conform or pretend. It invites you to live openly, embracing both your strengths and vulnerabilities. This openness is magnetic, attracting people and opportunities that resonate with your genuine self. Self-awareness also enhances emotional intelligence, giving you the tools to manage your reactions and build healthier relationships. When you understand your triggers and emotional patterns, you gain control rather than being controlled. This control strengthens your resilience and deepens your sense of inner peace. This peace does not come from avoiding difficulties, but from meeting them with clarity and courage. As your self-awareness grows, so does your confidence. This confidence is quiet but powerful, born from knowing yourself intimately and trusting your capacity to navigate life's challenges. It frees you from the need for external approval because your sense of worth is rooted in self-knowledge rather than outside opinions. The practice of silence and self-focus sharpens this awareness daily. Each moment spent listening to yourself strengthens your connection to your intuition, the subtle inner guide that steers you toward what is best for you. Intuition is often drowned out by noise and distraction, but in silence, it speaks clearly and confidently. This guidance helps you avoid unnecessary detours and aligns your path with your true purpose. Cultivating self-awareness through silence is not always easy. It requires courage to face yourself honestly and patience to work through what you discover. But the rewards are profound. You gain clarity, confidence, and calm that ripple outward, transforming every area of your life. This transformation is not about perfection. It is about progress and becoming more of who you truly are. When you focus silently on yourself, you cultivate authentic self-awareness. This awareness becomes the catalyst for meaningful change and the foundation upon which everything else falls into place. When you dedicate yourself to focusing on your inner world and practicing silence, you begin to cultivate a rare and powerful skill, emotional mastery. This mastery is not about suppressing or ignoring your emotions, but about understanding and guiding them with intention. Emotions are the language of your inner self, constantly signaling what matters most and where your energy should flow. Yet, without awareness and control, emotions can become overwhelming, driving reactions that sabotage your progress and peace. Emotional mastery, rooted in silence, allows you to recognize emotions as temporary waves rather than permanent states. You learn to observe feelings without being consumed by them. This distance creates space for choice instead of automatic reaction. Instead of being ruled by fear, anger, or doubt, you acknowledge these emotions, accept them without judgment, and then decide how to respond. This practice rewires your brain, strengthening neural pathways associated with self-regulation and resilience. With each moment of quiet observation, you gain greater control over your emotional landscape, allowing you to navigate challenges with calm and clarity. Emotional mastery also deepens your connection to yourself and others. When you understand your emotions, you can communicate more honestly and empathize more deeply. This awareness fosters authentic relationships based on trust and respect rather than conflict and misunderstanding. As emotional mastery grows, you notice a profound shift in how you experience life. The storms of emotional turbulence become less frequent and less intense because you no longer feed them with resistance or denial. Instead, you flow with life's rhythms, adapting and growing through each experience. This flow builds confidence and courage. When emotions no longer control you, you feel free to take risks, pursue your dreams, and step into your full potential. The fear of failure or rejection loses its grip because you know you have the inner strength to recover and continue. Emotional mastery is not a destination, but an ongoing journey that unfolds in the silence you create within yourself. It requires commitment to self-reflection and a willingness to sit with discomfort without fleeing. This commitment is a gift you give to yourself, creating a foundation for sustainable growth and transformation. Each moment spent in silence and focus strengthens this mastery, making you more grounded, centered, and empowered. The benefits ripple through every aspect of your life, from personal goals to professional success, from inner peace to outer impact. When you focus on yourself and stay silent, you develop emotional mastery that becomes the bedrock of your transformation. This mastery is the key to unlocking your resilience, clarity, and confidence. It enables you to move forward with purpose and grace, no matter the obstacles. In this space of emotional mastery, everything begins to fall into place naturally because you are no longer a victim of your feelings, but the wise steward of your inner world. You become the calm in the storm, the steady force that creates lasting change from within. When you fully embrace the practice of focusing inward and embracing silence, you begin to reclaim your time, the one resource that once lost can never be regained. Time is the foundation upon which all growth, success, and happiness are built. Yet so many live trapped in the illusion that time is endlessly available or wasted in distractions that neither serve nor satisfy. By choosing silence and self-focus, you actively reclaim control over how you spend each moment. You begin to see time not as an enemy racing against you, but as a precious ally to be managed wisely. This shift in perspective transforms your relationship with daily life. You stop reacting impulsively to every demand and distraction and start acting with deliberate intention. Every minute becomes an opportunity to move closer to your vision, values, and peace. When you focus inward, you develop the ability to prioritize like never before. You discern what truly matters from what merely clamors for attention. This clarity allows you to say no to what drains you and yes to what fuels your growth and joy. The power to prioritize is a game changer because it liberates you from the exhausting cycle of busyness without progress. You learn to invest your time in actions aligned with your purpose rather than habits that fill the day but leave you empty. This investment of time builds momentum. Momentum born of focused action accelerates your progress and deepens your sense of accomplishment. It makes challenges feel less daunting and fuels your motivation to keep going, even when obstacles arise. The wisdom of reclaiming time through silence also involves creating space for rest and renewal. In a culture obsessed with doing more, rest is often viewed as a luxury or weakness, but silence teaches you that rest is essential, not optional. Rest replenishes your energy, sharpens your mind, and restores your emotional balance. It is the soil from which creativity, clarity, and resilience grow. When you honor the need for rest, you prevent burnout and sustain your ability to perform at your best over the long term. This balance between action and rest is the secret to lasting success and fulfillment. It is what allows you to show up fully, not just occasionally, in your life and work. Reclaiming your time also means embracing presence, being fully engaged in the here and now. Presence enriches every experience because it connects you deeply to yourself and the world around you. It dissolves regrets about the past and anxieties about the future, replacing them with focus and gratitude. This presence enhances your productivity, creativity, and joy. When you focus on yourself and stay silent, you reclaim the power of time. Time becomes your most loyal companion, guiding you steadily toward your goals and dreams. This reclaimed time allows everything to fall into place naturally because you are no longer caught in the chaos of distraction or overwhelm. Instead, you move with purpose, clarity, and calm. You build a life where every moment counts and every action matters. The mastery of time through silence is the foundation of your transformation. True growth flourishes when you embrace the power of patience, a quality that often feels elusive in a world demanding speed and instant results. When you focus on yourself and stay silent, patience is no longer just an abstract ideal, but a practical tool you cultivate daily. Patience allows you to respect the natural rhythms of your progress, recognizing that transformation is rarely immediate. It acknowledges that deep, lasting change requires time, persistence, and a willingness to endure discomfort without losing faith. This shift in mindset transforms how you approach challenges and setbacks. Instead of frustration or despair, you meet obstacles with calm acceptance, knowing they are part of your growth process. Patience is not passive waiting. It is active endurance. It fuels perseverance, helping you keep moving forward even when results seem distant or uncertain. This endurance builds resilience, the inner strength to withstand difficulties without breaking. Resilience is essential because every journey towards self-improvement encounters resistance from within and without. By developing patience, you create a stable foundation that supports your spirit through the inevitable ups and downs. Patience also deepens your self-compassion. When you stop rushing and demanding perfection from yourself, you create space for kindness and understanding. You recognize that mistakes and slow progress do not diminish your worth or potential. This gentle acceptance reduces inner criticism, freeing mental energy that can instead be devoted to growth and healing. Cultivating patience rewires your brain to tolerate discomfort and uncertainty, which are natural parts of any meaningful journey. It trains your mind to resist the urge for immediate gratification, which often leads to distraction and regret. Instead, patience anchors you in the present moment, encouraging steady effort and mindful presence. This anchoring enhances your clarity in decision-making because you are not reacting impulsively to short-term impulses or fears. The practice of patience aligns you with a deeper flow of life. It connects you to the understanding that everything unfolds in its own perfect time, including your transformation. This understanding brings peace and reduces anxiety about outcomes. It invites you to trust the process even when the path is unclear. As patience grows, so does your ability to embrace uncertainty without fear. This ability is a powerful source of courage, allowing you to take risks and explore new possibilities without being paralyzed by doubt. Courage fueled by patience is steady and enduring, not reckless or impulsive. When you focus silently on yourself, you nurture patience as a vital companion on your journey. This patience becomes the quiet force that sustains your motivation and sharpens your focus. It empowers you to keep showing up day after day with faith that your efforts will bear fruit. In this space of patience and presence, everything begins to align. The chaos of impatience and frustration fades away, replaced by a calm confidence that whatever you seek is unfolding as it should. Patience transforms waiting into preparation, setbacks into lessons, and effort into progress. It is the quiet strength that allows everything to fall into place naturally, guiding you toward your highest potential with grace and resilience. When you learn to stay silent and focus fully on yourself, you awaken a profound sense of inner strength that reshapes your entire experience of life. This strength is not loud or boastful. It is quiet, steady, and unwavering. It grows from the daily practice of self-discipline, reflection, and intentionality. Inner strength is what anchors you when external circumstances are uncertain and the noise of the world threatens to pull you off course. It is the deep knowing that no matter what happens outside, your core remains intact and unshakable. This strength gives you the courage to face fears that once paralyzed you, to confront doubts that clouded your mind, and to rise after every setback with renewed determination. It is the foundation of resilience, the ability to recover and keep moving forward with purpose. Inner strength also cultivates self-trust. When you turn inward and embrace silence, you listen to your intuition, your most reliable guide. Over time, this listening sharpens and you begin to trust your own judgment above the opinions and expectations of others. Self-trust is liberating. It frees you from the endless cycle of seeking approval and validation. Instead, you find approval within yourself, a source of confidence that no external force can diminish. This confidence allows you to make decisions boldly and authentically. It empowers you to set boundaries that protect your energy and honor your values. Inner strength nurtured through silence also quiets the mind's chatter, the fears, doubts, and negative self-talk that undermine your progress. As this mental noise fades, you create space for clarity and creativity to emerge. Your thoughts become tools for growth rather than obstacles. This mental clarity enhances your ability to focus deeply on your goals, sharpening your efforts and increasing your effectiveness. The more you develop this strength, the less you are controlled by circumstances, opinions, or emotions. Instead, you become the steady force directing your life, responding thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. This shift changes everything. Challenges become opportunities to test and grow your strength rather than threats to your stability. Failures become lessons rather than judgments of your worth. Inner strength turns obstacles into stepping stones. This strength also connects you to a deeper sense of purpose. When you focus silently on yourself, you uncover what truly matters, not what society says should matter, but what resonates with your soul. Purpose fuels your inner strength because it provides direction and meaning. It becomes the why behind every action, sustaining you through difficulty and inspiring you to keep moving forward. This connection to purpose ignites passion and perseverance, qualities essential for long-term transformation. Cultivating inner strength through silence is a daily commitment, a steady journey inward that yields profound outward change. As you build this strength, you become unstoppable, a force that moves through life with grace, courage, and clarity. When you focus on yourself and stay silent, you unlock this power within. It is the power that allows everything to fall into place naturally, because you are no longer a victim of circumstance, but the master of your destiny. This inner strength is your greatest asset, your foundation for lasting growth and fulfillment. The moment you commit to focusing inward and embracing silence, you begin to unlock the hidden power of clarity. Clarity that cuts through confusion, doubt, and overwhelm like a sharp blade through fog. This clarity is not just about knowing what to do, it is a deep understanding of who you are, what you value, and where your energy belongs. When the mind is cluttered with noise, external distractions, endless to-do lists, conflicting opinions, your vision blurs and decisions become paralyzed by uncertainty. Silence, when practiced with intention, clears this noise away. It creates a sacred space where your true priorities rise to the surface, untainted by external pressures or fleeting emotions. This clarity becomes a beacon, guiding every choice with precision and confidence. It liberates you from second-guessing and hesitation. Instead of drifting aimlessly or reacting impulsively, you move with purpose and direction. This focused movement conserves energy and accelerates progress because every action is aligned with your authentic self. Clarity also dissolves the fear of the unknown. When you understand your path and values deeply, the uncertainty that once caused anxiety transforms into curiosity and readiness. You begin to see challenges as puzzles to solve rather than threats to avoid. This mental shift is revolutionary. It turns hesitation into action and doubt into belief. The clarity that comes from silence allows you to see patterns in your thoughts and behaviors that were previously hidden. You become aware of habits that no longer serve you and replace them with empowering routines. This heightened self-awareness is the foundation of lasting change because it ensures your efforts are focused on what truly moves you forward. When your path is clear, distractions lose their hold. Temptations to compare yourself to others, seek approval, or chase meaningless goals fade into the background. Your mind becomes a laser, cutting through clutter and locking onto what matters most. This focus enhances productivity and creates a sense of peace. There is power in knowing your destination and trusting your steps. Clarity born from silent focus also deepens your connection to intuition, that quiet inner voice that knows the right path even when logic cannot explain it. As you cultivate silence, your intuition becomes sharper and more reliable. You learn to trust it as a compass in moments of indecision or risk. This trust strengthens your confidence and fuels your courage to take bold actions aligned with your highest good. When you focus on yourself and embrace silence, clarity becomes your greatest ally. It illuminates your journey with wisdom and certainty, making every step purposeful and meaningful. This clarity is what allows everything to fall into place naturally because you are no longer wandering in confusion or doubt. You stand firm, grounded in understanding, ready to create the life you desire. The power of clarity transforms hesitation into momentum, fear into faith, and potential into reality. It is the key that opens doors to your true potential, guiding you steadily toward fulfillment and success. When you truly commit to focusing on yourself and embracing silence, you open the door to profound self-awareness, the cornerstone of genuine transformation. Self-awareness is more than simply noticing your thoughts or feelings. It is the deep, honest examination of your inner world, your habits, your fears, and your desires without judgment. It demands courage to face truths that may be uncomfortable but are necessary for growth. This process of self-discovery reveals the patterns that shape your life, both empowering and limiting. As you become more aware, you recognize where your energy has been wasted on distractions, negative beliefs, or external validation. This recognition is freeing because it puts control back into your hands. No longer are you a passive participant in your own story, tossed by external forces or inner turmoil. Instead, you become an active creator, choosing thoughts and actions that align with your highest purpose. Self-awareness nurtured through silence allows you to identify the voices inside your mind that no longer serve you, the doubts, fears, and critical judgments that have held you back. When these voices lose their power, you gain space to cultivate positive, empowering beliefs. This shift rewires your mental and emotional framework, building a foundation for lasting confidence and resilience. It is a transformation at the root level. Developing this level of self-awareness also enhances emotional intelligence, the ability to understand and manage your emotions effectively. When you are silent and focused within, you notice emotional triggers before they control your reactions. You respond with intention rather than impulsivity, which leads to healthier relationships and a stronger sense of inner peace. Emotional mastery reduces the chaos that often comes from unchecked feelings, replacing it with calm and centeredness. This calm presence is magnetic. It attracts opportunities, supportive people, and experiences that align with your growth. Others sense your authenticity and strength, opening doors that were previously closed. The energy you cultivate internally radiates outward, creating a powerful ripple effect in every area of your life. As self-awareness deepens, you begin to understand your unique gifts and talents more clearly. This clarity fuels a sense of purpose that is uniquely yours, not borrowed or imposed. Purpose gives direction and meaning to your efforts, igniting passion that sustains you through challenges. It is the driving force that makes sacrifices worthwhile and failures temporary. The practice of focusing silently on yourself also sharpens your ability to set boundaries, essential for protecting your time, energy, and emotional well-being. Clear boundaries create space for growth and prevent burnout, allowing you to prioritize what truly matters. Boundaries are an act of self-respect and a declaration that your journey is sacred. This dedication to self-awareness and boundaries transforms your relationship with yourself and the world. You move with clarity, confidence, and compassion, grounded in an unshakable sense of who you are. When you cultivate this profound self-awareness through silence, everything begins to fall into place. You are no longer lost in confusion or controlled by external noise. Instead, you are aligned with your true self, empowered to create a life of meaning, fulfillment, and unstoppable momentum. This is the power of turning inward and choosing silence, where transformation is not just possible, but inevitable. When you embrace the power of silence and focus on yourself, you begin to build a fortress of patience, a quiet strength that sustains you through every storm. Patience is not weakness or passivity. It is an active, deliberate choice to trust the process, even when immediate results are unseen. It is the deep understanding that meaningful growth and transformation take time. This patience guards you against the frustration and despair that often arise when progress feels slow or invisible. In a world addicted to instant gratification, patience becomes a rare and powerful virtue. It teaches you to stay grounded, even when the noise around you screams for quick fixes and instant answers. Patience also nurtures resilience. When you accept that setbacks and delays are part of the journey, you no longer see obstacles as failures. Instead, you view them as lessons and opportunities to grow stronger. This shift in perspective fuels your determination and perseverance. You learn to hold steady in uncertainty, knowing that the best things in life often require persistence and unwavering commitment. Patience allows you to listen deeply, not just to others, but to yourself. It creates the space needed to truly hear your intuition and inner wisdom. When you rush, you miss these subtle signals that guide your choices toward alignment and success. In stillness and waiting, clarity emerges naturally. This clarity transforms waiting from a passive act into a powerful form of preparation. While you wait, you grow, refine your skills, and deepen your understanding. Patience becomes the soil in which your dreams take root and flourish.